And we are live. Welcome to Tonight in America. I'm your host, Dontaris Jones, and we have an exciting day for you. I want to welcome you to a Monday, a 29th, 2025. We're getting close to the end of 2025. Getting to the very close to the end. I want to welcome you guys to a good morning, actually. First time in a while since I've done a morning show. Usually I'm used to doing, late night shows. Sometimes very late in the night. Like I'm talking about like close to like midnight. That's how most of my shows are for the most part. I go live at weird hours of the day, depending on how my day is structured and how my day is planned out or whatever. But hey, it's a work in progress right now. Today I'm going live at 11. I don't get used to this time yet. I have no idea yet if I'm gonna commit to this time or not just yet at the moment. Like I said, it's a work in progress. But I'm playing around with some different times or whatever. Make sure everything's good before we get started. Checking my PC. All right. Yeah, we should be good. Everything is good. First time doing my show on StreamYards now. If you missed it, I did a stream on technically I think it was Friday or Saturday. Well, it was in the middle of the night, so I did like a welcome stream and basically kind of like a updated stream of like how the show's going to be run now going forth. But today is our first show of my new schedule, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If you missed it, like I said, I did a stream on Friday where I announced my new schedule. So I will be streaming only 3 days a week. And depending how I feel, maybe Friday and Saturday, I'll give you guys like an extra stream. Also Sunday too, as well, depending. But today we're gonna be reacting to a viral YouTube video by Nick Shirley, who went to Minnesota to conduct his own investigation into the massive fraud that's taking place in the city of Minneapolis by the Somalian community, or I like to call them the Somalian pirates. So we're going to be reacting to that. That's the pretty much my whole show right there. That's the only thing we're reacting to today. Tomorrow I will save Trump and Zelensky's dual conference about peace talks that are continue on between Ukraine and Russia. I will react to that tomorrow. So that way I can like pretty much have stuff to talk about because the news is still kind of slow. There's nothing ready to talk about besides the Somali news. This is like the only major news of the week. That's pretty much what's going on right now. So we have nothing else ready that's already just going on in the news world right now. It's been slow ever since the Gaza war died down, and ever since Iran and Israel stopped fighting. We don't really have any newsworthy stuff to react to. So, but anyways, we're going to jump right into our feature story. Let me go ahead and put this up on my screen. As you can see right here, this is from Axios. YouTuber Nick Shirley gets FBI response to Minnesota fraud probe. Nick Shirley, a MAGA-friendly YouTuber, excuse me, lit up X during Christmas week with video reports from Minnesota alleging massive fraud in government-funded child care programs and provoked approving the responses from the FBI and Vice President J.D. Vance. Why it matters, Shirley, 23, who has more than 1 million YouTube subscribers. He just recently reached 1 million too as well. Go give him a follow. I'll link his channel in the bio after I get finished reading this article. Is one of the several young independent journalists turning heads among conservatives and Trump administration officials by going on location and quickly posting minimalist outrage in inducing videos. In one viral scene from Minneapolis, Shirley stands in front of a supposed quality learning center, even though they spelled learning wrong, misspelled on the sign as Learning Center, a daycare center that can't even spell learning right. Shirley deadpins on the camera. To the camera. The building appears abandoned at midday on weekday. Administration officials argued that Minnesota under Governor Tim Walz, 2024 Democratic VP candidate, is a hotbed of fraud perpetrated by the state's large Somali community. Walz's office told Fox News he has worked for years to crack down on fraud and asked the state legislature for more authority to take aggressive action. He has strengthened oversight. I don't believe that at all. Quite frankly, a lot of this fraud is happening underneath his watch for years. And quite frankly, most of these Democrat officials in Minnesota are fully aware of this fraud. It's been going on for years. And I fully believe they're allowing it to happen just to gain the Somali vote. So that way they can stay in power in Minnesota, so, to where it pretty much it turns into Somaliland 2.0. So I do not believe at all that these people are so shocked at all that this fraud is going on. Let me bring my microphone a little bit closer so that way people can hear me, because I was trying a different format today, but I want people to be able to hear me. So like I said before, I believe this fraud that's going on in Minnesota is very, very bad. It's reported to be at $9 billion, even though this conflicting reports are saying that that's not actually factually proven just yet. And I remember the last time I covered this in my previous stream when I reacted to Tyler Oliver going to Minnesota to conduct his own investigation into the fraud that's going on in Minneapolis. It was reported to be $9 billion. So now a recent report is up to, it's still like very high and it's close to that number. But like I said, it's very massive fraud. And like I said, the iceberg is we're literally at the beginning of what's really going on, what we're uncovering right now in Minnesota. This is insane that is happening underneath government officials, and they're allowing this to happen. Everybody that's involved should be arrested, jailed, and prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. All these Somalians have got to go home. They can't remain in America. They don't belong here. They should lose their citizenships. They should be rounded up and they should all be deported. You know why I say that? It's because they don't come here. They don't assimilate. They're basically living in enclaves where they're only living around amongst each other, to where they're not really assimilated. They're not really learning English. Like we watched in a video with Tyler Oliver, none of these people even bother to learn the language while they've been here, because they're living around amongst each other. They're not learning nothing. They're not really even assimilating properly to the culture of America. Fundamentally, that means they're not American. So why are they even still here? That's the big question. But I digress. Let's go on. Let's continue on. So where was I at? A backstory. A federal prosecutor, Joe Thompson, first assistant U.S. attorney for Minnesota, said earlier this month that $9 billion, see that right what I said earlier, $9 billion or more in federal funds that supported 14 Minnesota-run programs since 2018 may have been stolen, including COVID-related fraud. Somali Americans make up 82 of the 89% defendants charged. And you know something funny? They try to blame it on the white woman who was in charge of the Feed Our Future Foundation, the program that was supposed to be in charge of helping the needy. And they tried to put it on her. They tried to put the blame and everything on her to get her basically get her jammed up. They were trying to get her jammed up and get her to take all the charges and make it seem like she was the ringleader of all this. But when you look around, all the staff or whatever, all of them are Somali. All of them are Somali. And they're all putting the blame on the one white woman that was working with them to help this foundation basically commence the fraud. Again, she should be charged, and all these Somalis should be charged, and they also should be deported. Why is that not happening yet? You know, it's crazy to me, like how these deportations we were promised, we're still not getting them yet. We're still not getting them yet. We're supposed to be quote unquote trusting the plan, but I don't see the plan taking off right now. These people here have been here for how long? And now we've had this massive amount of fraud going on underneath our pretty much our noses. And these people are still here. You know, Trump says on Truth Social he's gonna get on board with this to get this done. But at the same time, I don't believe this is going to be the case because like these people are still here. They're still not getting deported. So, anyways, backstory. I already read that part. All right. What they're saying, Vance reposting Shirley's 42-minute report said this dude has done for more useful journalism than any of the winners of the 2024 Pulitzer prizes. FBI Director Kash Patel under the heading case update, Minnesota fraud scheme, he said yesterday. The FBI is aware of recent social media reports in Minnesota. However, even before the public conversation escalated online, the FBI had searched personnel and investigated resources to Minnesota to dismantle large-scale fraud schemes exploiting federal programs. Shirley's video about Minnesota fraudsters has over 1 million views on YouTube and over 1 million on X, where it has spread widely in MAGA universe. It's not the first time the videos have apparently promoted an administration response. In September, he posted a widely watched video. I confronted dangerous migrant scammers in NYC about vendors selling counterfeit goods on Lower Manhattan's Canal Street. Less than a month later, ICE agents targeted the area and said they detained 9 men in country illegally. We'll have to go back and watch that viral video another time, but let's go ahead and jump into the big viral video right now. This has got a whole internet talking right now, and rightfully so. Go ahead, full screen for you guys right quick so you guys can see this. Make sure you like the video and whatever, and let's continue on.
Hello, we'd like to ask where the money's going. What do you guys think about the fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota?
I don't think anybody is enabling fraud to happen.
Governor Walz accountable for this.
What was this money spent on? 1.26 million. What was that money spent on? There aren't any kids.
Answer the question. Are there children? There's no children inside the building.
Potentially the largest fraud scandal in U.S. history is taking place in Minnesota, as literally billions of dollars have been funneled through Somali-ran fraudulent businesses. So much fraud, it could actually almost replace the entire GDP of Somalia. These fraudsters have worked hand in hand with the Minnesota government as they enabled billions of dollars to be given to fraudulent businesses underneath welfare purposes. Some of this money eventually landed in the hands of terrorist groups in Somalia like the Al-Shabaab, and others enriched themselves all at the U.S. taxpayers' expense. And in this video, we will break down all of the fraud from start to finish, from going to the fraudulent businesses and confronting the people who are making millions of dollars from the government. And we will also be confronting the incompetent government leaders who let this fraud happen. And to make this happen, I met up with a man who's been doing his own investigation for years now, as he has seen the fraud firsthand. His name is David. Let's get into this and be prepared to be shocked. How deep is this fraud here inside Minnesota?
It is far worse than anybody can imagine. You heard it's 7 to 10 billion and maybe more, and now the numbers have been revised and put out there publicly that they think it's more like 8 billion. How I got involved is that where my office is here in Minneapolis, I'm sort of in the heart of all of this fraud, and I would see these childcare centers. I said, well, there aren't any kids there. It's the middle of the day, and all I see are a couple of guys standing out front smoking. And then I'd go by another daycare and I'd see the same thing. I said, well, where do these kids play? And so I started going around and looking. I said, this place is licensed for 80 children. They had 0 children. Every time I went by there, they never had a single child there. And then I started to see all these transportation companies going around, and it was always a Somali driver. And I said, well, that's great. They're out there transportation contributing, but they never had a passenger, never, ever once. And I said, well, what is all this transportation? What are they doing? So then I found out that in Minnesota, they have something called non-emergency medical transportation. So this is going to the dentist's office, therapy, whatever it might be. And I said, well, how many of these companies are there? And the research came back that there are 1,020 of them, and more than 800 of them are Somali-owned. Nobody from the state of Minnesota ever cross-checks to see if any rides were ever actually provided. All they did was write the check.
So right here, we have all this paperwork. And how are you getting all this information about the fraud?
A lot of it is through my own research. And then I have some contacts at the Capitol going back many, many years. And so the data that I'm getting is 100% accurate, coming directly from research done by—
Let me know in the comment section how the quality is. I'm seeing on my phone right now. I'm watching the video play just to make sure everything's good.
Let me know in the comment section how the Minnesota ever cross-checks to see if any rides were ever actually provided. All they did was write the check. So right here, we have all this directly from research done by— let me know in the comments.
Everything looks good. Okay, so let's continue on.
People at the state capitol.
All this paperwork right here, what are we looking at?
The areas of fraud that I have numbers for are mostly related to childcare. This is massive fraud that is beyond anyone's imagination, the scope. And so, for example, there's a childcare not far from here in Minneapolis that has two childcares listed at the same address. And together, they're licensed supposedly for 120 children. I have never seen a single child there ever. And I've been by that place at least 100 times.
These Somalians, these groups are setting up these daycares, these childcare centers, getting money from the government, but there's no kids.
No kids. Never had any of them. They're all fraught with violations. And even though they have these violations, they're still in operation and they're still getting money. And it's millions of dollars for every one of them every year.
And who's getting the money? And where are they getting the money from?
So we have a thing called CCAP. It's a blend of federal and state money. The bottom line is it's taxpayer money. So it's state money and it's federal money. And the problem is the people at the state of Minnesota are the ones writing the checks. This is kind of the maddening thing is you have daycare. So you have adult daycare and then you have childcare and then you have healthcare. And a lot of these same names keep coming up on all of these different types of businesses. And then of course we have the transportation. A lot of those same names appear, a lot of the same addresses. There's one building that has 14 Somali healthcare companies at the same address. There's another building in St. Paul that has 22 Somali healthcare businesses at the same address.
And the government knows about this.
The government knows they're writing the checks. Yeah, the Democrats over there writing the checks. What has happened is that the Somali community is a very closed community. They will not speak to anyone outside the community and talk about what's going on within the community. They vote as a block. And so
that's the problem right there. That's the issues that we got. Like I said earlier, they're an enclave. They're pretty much around each other, only talk to each other. They only communicate with each other. And this is pretty much the reason why a lot of this fraud's happening, because they're keeping it in the community and they're able to work the system because the system was set up for them to do this way. I'm not blaming the system. I'm blaming the people that have come here to take advantage of it, quite frankly. This is why in order to fix this problem, you just got to get rid of the problem altogether. Just send them back home. You know, locking them up is one thing, but if we really want to be a serious country and really punish them to the full extent of the law, send them back home. That's the only way you can get this problem fixed.
well, when you're a politician, you're saying, look, I've got 100,000 people in Minnesota that if I do something for the community, they're going to vote for me. And that's what it's all about, is getting the votes. And then the people here in Minnesota, you hear this term, Minnesota nice. I'm so sick of that term. The people here are so afraid of being called a racist or an Islamophobe. And
that's how they get you too as well. They avoid arrest because this is this old trope where you just use the word racist to get law enforcement to stop, to get the federal government from stop enforcing the laws to go after this section of people that seem to be committing a lot of crime. It happens a lot of times, especially in the Black community. They throw around the word racist to try to get law enforcement to not come into the communities to arrest all the drug dealers, the dope heads, the prostitutes, the violent criminals, the pimps, because you do realize, well, majority of a lot of problems comes from the community. It comes from those communities, especially all the violent crime. You do realize we would be a safer country if the cops would go to those communities and arrest all the fucking criminals. Oh, no. You're a racist. You're a racist. You cannot do that. You're discriminating against me. How dare you come here and arrest me? How dare you how dare you arrest say I'm a Black woman. How dare you come arrest my son? My son didn't do nothing wrong. You're discriminating against him because he's a Black man. You know how dumb that shit is? Because like we could deal with so much of the bad problems that we have in America if the law enforcement were allowed to do their jobs and they weren't sued to hell by these fucking people because they refuse to follow the law. That's the fucking problem that we deal with. You know, and it's the same thing with the Somali community. The reason why like the federal government's not going in and arresting these people, law enforcement in Minneapolis is not doing their fucking jobs, is because the Somali community is playing the race card. They're playing that card that they always play. Oh, it's racist to come and arrest us. It's racist to do this. It's racist to do that. Bruh, we could just arrest these fucking people and just get it over with. If we were a serious country, we'd arrest these people and just send them fucking back home. That's what I want. I want to wake up someday and want to see all these Somalis load up on the truck and just send home. Ian Omar as well. And that other dude, I forgot his name. What was his name? Omar something. The one that Congress said looks like that guy from Captain Phillips. Yeah, I want his ass on the bus too. All on the bus going back to Somali. These people come here and they come here and take advantage of the system and acting like this is, and like they know this stuff is going on. Ian Omar's not stupid. They know that they come in here. She had a whole speech that was done in her native tongue, telling her the community that I'm in Congress to ensure your safety, to ensure I put the needs of the Somali people first, not the needs of the American people, because there's more than just the Somali community that lives in Minneapolis. but she didn't speak at all to them, especially in their native tongue. No, she's spoken Somali to the Somali community because that's all she cares about. She's not here for the betterment of Americans. No, she's just here just so she can go feed, so she can fend for her own people, so they can funnel the money and send it back to Somalia, especially to terrorist groups, because this happens quite frequently. It happens a lot. People don't even realize it.
They're afraid of their own shadow. And I don't understand. This is our future generations are going to have to pay for all this fraud. And they just want to bury their heads in the sand and go on and just not worry about it. Tim Wall's saying there's organized crime in Minnesota. What did he do about it? Nothing. You got organized crime? What are you doing? This is the Minnesota law, which mandates that anyone who knows of fraud and is a state employee must report that fraud. It's Minnesota Statute 3.971, Subdivision 9. Not only that, but Walls is also guilty of misconduct of a public employee. When I look at the world as a whole and I look at fraud, the Twin Cities is ground zero. The fraud is worse here than anywhere else ever in history, anywhere.
We're going to go around these people. We're going to go to these daycare centers. We're going to see what's actually happening.
Okay, so we have to be careful because these people are very violent. They're exceptionally violent.
Now, with all of David's evidence, we headed out to the streets of Minneapolis to see how much fraud we could uncover in one afternoon. Where are we going now?
We're going to a place called Mako Childcare, which actually has another childcare registered at the same address called Mini Child Care Center.
So we should see lots of children if there's this child care center, especially if there's two.
The two of them combined are licensed for 120.
And how much money have these child care centers received?
None of those vans had moved in 6 months. None of them. In 2020, one of them received 1.3 million. In 2021, they got 987,000. In 2022, they got 714,000. That's the last I have for that one. And then the other one, 1.604 million in fiscal year 2025. Fiscal year 2024, they got about 800,000, and in fiscal year 2023, they got $904,059. This place right here. Yes.
We're outside of it.
Well, this is actually two daycares are registered here. One of them is Mako, which you see on the sign. The other one is Mini Child Care Center. And between the two of these child care centers, they're pulling in about $3 million a year. And there are no children. Every facility you go to, the windows will be blacked out, so you can't see in. There's nobody here. You won't see a single child at any of these facilities.
There are indeed no windows. All the windows are blacked out right here. All right, let's go in.
No.
And the child care center is locked. Should we ring the doorbell?
Got to lower the quality a little bit. Maybe
Should we ring the doorbell? Try to get in, ring the doorbell. Nobody showed up. They're open 7 days a week, 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. It says here on their sign, yet there's absolutely nobody here. And this building here, right here, has generated millions of dollars, and it seems like business isn't even open right now, and it's a weekday. And if this was a daycare center, it wouldn't just be in some industrialized building. There'd be maybe like a playground or something outside. Or
there's no play area for the kids. So where are the kids? Where's anybody? How can there be nobody here? And it's like this every single day. I've never seen a single child here. In 9 years, I've never seen a single child at this building right there.
Oh, then now it looks like we already got the Somalis coming.
Yeah,
through.
they're coming. The word's out.
Hello, is this your daycare?
No, tell us why there are no children. Have you ever seen children at this child care center? I'm not sure. I don't.
Doesn't know if she's ever seen a child here. All right, let's go to the next location. And the fraud only gets more from here. Make sure you stay till the very end of this video to see exactly how much fraud we find by the time we are done. And before we go to the next location, I want to show you something super interesting about the flags of Minnesota. And here in Minnesota, if you take a look at the Minnesota state flag, they recently changed it, and it very much so resembles the flag of Somalia. And really quick, I want to tell you guys about the sponsor of this video, Opus Clip. What used to just be an AI clipper has now become the most powerful AI growth tool for creators. Right now, over 10 million creators and businesses have used Opus Clip to help them gain over 60 billion views. I've used Opus, and I've even had my friends use it, and it helped my one friend with nearly just 100 followers get a video up to 30,000 views. And it's super simple to use. All you do is you upload a video or copy a YouTube link, and Opus will do the rest, and it'll come out with tons of viral shorts for you then to choose from. And Opus just came out their new AI editor 3.0 that comes with smarter auto framing, better virality scoring, and new captions. And I've said it before, but Opus is so simple that even my mom can use it.
And if I can use it, I know you can use it.
And right now, for you guys watching this video, Opus is going to hook you guys up with a sweet deal. You'll get 1 week free and 3 months at 50% off. All I have to do is go to the link in the description of this video or go to the pinned comment down below and use code Nick Shirley. 1 week free and 3 months at 50% off. And now let's get back into the video. Now we're going to the next daycare center. How much money has this one generated?
This one in fiscal year 2025, $1,042,059. In fiscal year 2024, $1,059,078. And in fiscal year 2023, $727,336.
This next one is literally
That's insane. That's really insane.
1 block away, and this one's also generated nearly 3.
And here's the thing. We say it's 9 billion, but after this video, you're going to see exactly how much fraud Nick Shirley has discovered during this whole entire process of going to all these different daycares, facilities for children. It's literally like it's gonna blow your mind, like how much fraud is really going on in Minnesota and how this is just being deliberately allowed to take place under our noses. And then one of the government officials in Minnesota, you're gonna see her response to this fraud taking place, and quite frankly, it doesn't surprise me at all what her response is. It's nothing new.
$1 million in the past 3 years. Let's see if there's any children. Let's see if any of the buildings are open. Here we go. All right, we've arrived to ABC Learning Center. All the windows are blacked out. Let's see if anybody is here. This door is locked.
This facility is licensed for 40 children. 0 children. I've come by this place 100 times. I've never seen a child here, ever. The only thing I've ever seen is someone standing outside smoking.
What's crazy about this is that last daycare center is that green building right there. And the other daycare center right now is right here. These buildings should be operating as they're receiving literally millions of dollars. I knocked on the door, and to my surprise, somebody actually answered the door. Hello? Can we speak? I would like to check a child in the daycare. Can I speak to a manager? Where can I get paperwork to file for my son? I want to put my son Joey in daycare. And after a few questions, the lady went silent. Looks like little Joey Shirley ain't going to daycare here. And now where are we going?
Now we're going to Sweet Angel Childcare.
We're in the middle of a strip mall here inside of this neighborhood.
In fiscal year 2025, this facility, which says it's licensed for 74 kids, was paid $1.26 million in tax money. And there are no kids. And all the facilities are the same way, all of them.
Let's see if anyone opens.
Yeah, let's see.
Once again, I try to find a spot for my son Joey, and they would not open the door. I want to put my son Joey in daycare. Cuz I need a spot to put my son Joey.
Yes.
Is this your daycare center?
No. What's happened?
I just want to put a child in daycare, but all the daycare centers seem to be closed. No one's opening the doors.
Bruh.
You work here?
I was, yeah. What's happened?
Where are the kids?
Yeah.
It says it's licensed for 74 children. Right here, state of Minnesota. Where are the kids? They got paid $1.26 million in fiscal year 2025. It says they have a capacity for 74 children.
Bro looks so shocked, like he don't know what's going on because he barely. I guarantee he barely has any English lessons. Like he looks like he speaks little to no English at all. When I was at my job the other day, I had a Spanish guy come in there. He speaks no English at all, none. It's low. How are these people being led in the country and you don't even bother learning how to speak the language? How is this even possible? Is every one of these people trying to seek TPS? Bruh, this is insane to me.
When? Where are the kids? Right here. State of Minnesota website. You work here and you don't know?
I don't know. I was there before. I don't know what's going on.
Were there any kids when you worked there?
He's there. Kids there. What's
How
up?
many?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Yeah.
You work there. Okay, well, then you're not of any help.
Can I put my son in the daycare here?
No, I don't know.
Can I speak to someone?
No, I don't know.
No? Yeah, I would like to see if I can put my son Joey here.
Who's his son, Joey?
My son Joey. Can I check out daycare center?
I'm gonna do myself. No, he's my child. I'm the owner.
Do you put your kid here in this daycare?
No.
There is one child in there. Yeah, I'd like to know if this is a legit business.
Me, I'm scared of you too. How can I explain everything?
You're scared of me?
Yeah,
Why?
because of your credit.
Because of my color. You said you're scared of me because of my color. Does that make you a racist?
Yeah, no.
You said you're scared of me because of my color.
So she's discriminating against white people in their own country. That's crazy. So I'm scared of you or whatever. Bruh, that's crazy.
I'm not saying you're racist.
You said you're scared of me because of my color. That makes you a racist. So right now,
This is my
they're all getting
tattoo.
mad because he's showing the
I
paperwork
don't
of this
know that.
business being registered as a business. 74 children,
I've
no
lived my whole
children.
life
He saw one child when they opened up the door.
Wow.
So now
where
they're
did
all
this
getting
money
mad.
go? What was this money spent on? 1.26 million. What was that money spent on? There aren't any kids.
Ask the owner and the kids.
Well, then why are you talking
That's
for the
not
owner
my
if you're
business.
telling me to talk to the
I'm
owner?
sorry. I'm not understand what you're talking about.
Do you have a child here?
No.
Does anybody?
No.
Where are the
Bruh.
74 kids? Did you lose them? Did you lose these kids? Do I need to call someone? Do I need to issue an Amber Alert for missing children? Are these children missing?
Bruh, this is
It's
insane.
not my business that children are missing. 74 infants and toddlers, preschool.
The proof's right there. There's no children anywhere.
It's from the state of Minnesota right here.
I think we're moving on to the next location.
These women are so not like they're not communicative. They don't want to talk. They just want to keep shouting and say, "Oh, I don't understand." They keep shouting their own native language. It's like, bruh, can you speak English? Like, bruh, these people are. It's clear as day that this is a very clear sign of admission about something's going on in Minnesota that Americans need to know about. You know, these people are not talkative. They're not being communicative. They're being very aggressive. Like, they're being very combative. Like, this is just like, it's a clear admission of like guilt without even admitting to it. Like, you could tell this is clearly like an admission of guilt. You can't tell me these people don't have nothing going on in Minnesota the way they're acting.
Have a good day. As we continue to show the blatant fraud that was taking place here in Minnesota, Somalis started following us around the city. And now we're being followed by the Somalis. This is another daycare center, absolutely no signage, and there's no footprints in the snow of children playing outside. $5 million within the past
5.9 million in 2 years. 5.9 million they received in 2 years. That facility right there.
And now we have a group of Somalis telling us in our vehicle right now.
From this daycare center, we headed over to the infamous Quality Learning Center, which actually spells Quality Leering Center on the outside of their sign. That's how blatant this.
Bruh. They can't even spell the fucking. That's crazy. They can't even spell the fucking thing. How is this even possible, bro? How is this even possible? These people should not be here. You can't even spell learning. What the fuck is going on, man? Yo, this is what I would say. The Trump administration meant to be serious about deporting these people because, bro, this is insane to me. Very insane to me.
Fraud is here at this daycare.
Don't open up.
So this is Quality Leering Center. I meant to say Quality Learning Center.
Don't open
They
up.
said they
What
spelled
the
learning
fuck?
wrong.
Don't open up.
How do you
Of
have ISIS, man?
course.
I'm literally a YouTuber.
Don't open up.
Man, what do you
Of course. A fucking Karen, bro. I'm telling you, these fucking bitches are always the worst.
think about the fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota?
Don't open up. We have ice.
And what do you think about this place being licensed for 99 children
Don't open up.
and getting $4 million
Don't
over
open
them?
up. It's ice.
$4 million in the last 2 years?
Go away.
What do you think about that? Are you in
Go
favor?
away.
Are you in favor of that?
Go away.
You know
You're
what-
not welcome here.
Are you-
Shame on you.
Are you in favor of $1.9
Shame
million
on you. It's
going
ice.
illegally,
Don't open up.
fraudulently to this business that has Quality Learning Center but can't even spell learning right on the door?
Don't open up.
Ma'am, we are not ICE.
I don't care who you are. You don't belong here.
I belong here just like you belong here.
Don't open up. It's ice.
You do realize that there's supposed to be 99 children in here at this building, but there's no one here. This is a child daycare center.
99 children. Paid $1.9 million this year in CCAP funding. Do you know where the children are? Were they kidnapped? They run away? Where are the children? This is state of Minnesota. Right here.
And who are you?
My name's Nick Shirley, ma'am.
And who are you with?
Nick Shirley. Nick Shirley on YouTube.
Yeah. So who are you with here?
Oh, he's just been doing some research investigating the fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota.
Yeah, I'm with Nick Shirley.
This lady, she's calling us ICE. We're just trying to put law and order back in the streets of the United States. Get rid of all the fraud. Have you ever seen children at that daycare center right there?
Where?
Yeah, it's right there. It says the child. You've never seen daycare.
I haven't seen anybody here.
We're going to educate you on something. So what do you think about this daycare center? They spelled learning wrong. They've received over $1.9 million this year alone, and they're supposed to have 99 children here.
I don't see it.
99 children.
Have you ever seen any children here?
None. Not at all.
This year they got 1.9 million. Last year they got 1.5 million of your tax money for 99 children. We just want to know where are the kids?
Right.
Where are the children?
I don't see them. I've been here since 2017. I haven't seen anybody like
Never
that
seen
here.
a child here.
Nope, not at all.
And so you've never
8
seen a
years.
child here for 8 years.
Nope, not at all.
And how does that make you feel knowing that this place is receiving $1.9 million?
It's disgusting. I mean, what the hell? They stealing the money. That's a federal grant too. That's, if they get caught for that's a federal offense. I know I studied law.
And do you think Tim Walz should go to jail for all the fraud that he's enabled here in his state?
That's him doing this? What the heck yeah. He's got to be held accountable for this. I mean, there's no rhyme or reason what's going on here. It's simple. It's nothing there. It's a parking lot.
And look, they even spelled learning wrong on their sign for a place that's supposed to be educating children.
That's crazy. I mean, who runs it? Who supposedly runs it?
Somalians.
Oh my God. Well, where? Yeah, it's just, I've never seen nobody here at all
So how long have you been living here?
since 2017.
You've never seen a single child walk in that building.
No, not at all.
So this daycare
Bruh, that is crazy. He's been there since 2017, has not seen a single child walk in that building. Bro. This just looks more and more in dire situation for the Somali community, bro. They might as well just pack up their bags and just self-deport themselves at this point. I don't even understand why they're even still here. Why we're not even deporting these people yet. I genuinely don't understand. Like, you telling me right now, this guy's been in this community for as long as he's been in, and he has not seen one child go into that building. Are they bringing them to the back door? If there is a back door of the building? Like, there's a lot of questions to be asked that are being asked instead of being answered. Like, what the fuck's going on?
center is literally just a place to traffic money. $1.9 million just this year alone. And this guy's been living here for 8 years and has never seen a single child walk through those doors. There's no windows either.
No.
And the only window they do have, the door, is blacked out.
Yep, I see that. I've never seen anybody go in there.
Within just a few hours, we nearly approached $20 million in fraud, and we headed over to George Floyd's neighborhood to expose more of the fraud taking place.
You said George, that's crazy.
Early Learning Center, and it's licensed for 90 children. And in fiscal year 2025, they received $3.6 million. In fiscal year 2024, they received $3 million. So in 2 years, they got $6.67 million, claiming they have 90 children every day of the week, 5 days a week. So let's
These
find
people are
out.
making just about more money than NBA athletes.
And we don't even know if they're paying taxes, but we don't know where this money is going. Is it going to terrorism? Where is it going? But it's theft, it's fraud. And the reason I'm involved is I want it to stop. I care about Minnesota. I'm doing this for the people of Minnesota. I don't make a dime of all this time I spent on this. I put my life at risk several times, but I'm determined to see this through and to correct what is wrong, what is evil.
Here at Future Leaders Early Learning Center, this building received over $3 million. Hello, how are you? I would like to see if I could bring little Joey, my son, little Joey here. Is there paperwork? Can I check out the daycare? No. Why can't I check out the daycare?
Nothing's not here.
Okay, but if I can't get paperwork or anything to submit my son, little Joey, to come in here to daycare? We'd really like to put Joey in this daycare. We've heard great things.
Business card?
No, I would like your business card, actually.
You talk to your manager.
Okay, can I speak with somebody? Where are the children at? Are there children here today?
No.
No children.
Yeah.
Why are there no children?
You're too of Mexico.
Why she look like her face was slapped across? Like she look like she got slapped. Does anyone look at her face? Like it looks kind of like she either got stung by a bee or she was given a pip hand. Wow. Like just looking at her face is kind of like either that or she has like bad acne or something. Man, I'm just like kind of disturbed by that.
Would my son, little Joey, have friends to play with here? No. No friends for little Joey.
Yes.
Dang it. Well, have a great rest of your day. So little Joey would not be accepted to that daycare. Joey's still looking for daycare.
And because little Joey couldn't get into a daycare, we went to an autism center, as they have been popping up everywhere as a rise of autism has occurred here in Minnesota because of the government funds that they're receiving. I tried to check my son Joey into an autism center.
We've been going to a lot of these daycare centers. We're trying to find a spot for our little boy Joey, but we thought maybe we could check him in the autism center because none of the daycare centers are open. Yeah, and how many kids do you guys have at this autism center?
I can't give you a number now.
Like more than 5? Probably, so you don't really know.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about like the fraud that's been labeled on the autism centers here? What do you guys do think about the fraud, or how come the autism centers are popping up?
I can't answer.
What news? Are you a news reporter?
My name's Nick. We're doing a little documentary trying to find little Joey a spot to put himself in one of these centers here because there's
So are you asking us about
the fraud. Yeah, because we want to make sure we're going to legit business if we're going to bring our little boy Joey here.
This is not a joke spot. Yeah. But that's our number on you. But this is a we can't let you.
Bro, I'm telling you.
So once again, little Joey,
Bro,
he go to daycare, and now
this is insane to me. Bro, it's like everyone they go to, they're having problems with the locals. Like every facility, they seem like they can't get a spot for little Joey to get him checked in or whatever, or to scope around the area to see if they see children or nothing. Like these people are being so combative, not compliant at all. And they're just like, it's very clear. Like I said earlier, it's a clear admission of guilt. They're doing something. They don't want you knowing what's going on behind those closed doors, that they're just sitting on their ass, lollygagging, and just collecting taxpayer-owned money for their own benefits.
don't even accept him if he has autism.
And again, no kids. Couldn't tell you how many kids they serve.
After being able to provide no evidence of them actually being an autism center in a place where a child could go, they shut the door and we headed to the next fraudulent daycare center that was just around the corner.
We're on to the next location. We're still trying to find little Joey a place to go to get some daycare.
So where we're going now is a place called Super Kids Daycare Center. Interestingly, this daycare center was shut down when it was called Creative Minds Daycare, and it had received $2.45 million this fiscal year, 2025. They had to shut down because there were so many violations, and they went and they just reopened under a new license, and they renamed the center Super Kids Daycare Center, LLC.
So they got shut down and started another one.
Literally the next day.
Creative Minds Daycare, $2.45 million got sent to this daycare center. We have empty parking lot. We do have a bus here. This is different. We'll see if we see anybody.
I knocked on the door. Absolutely nobody was inside. And once again, no children could be heard anywhere.
So David, once again, another child daycare center. We have a bus out here. No one's inside. Licensed for over 50 kids. No children anywhere, but yet millions of dollars every single year.
So the sign says Creative Minds Daycare. They got in so much trouble. They had so many violations that they had to shut down, and they reopened the next day under Super Kids Daycare Center. You see 3801 Portland, 3801 Portland, which is where we are.
So that's fraud right there alone.
Millions and millions of dollars. And again, the kids are missing. Where are the kids?
You'd think if they had the same address, that whoever's inside or working at the Capitol here inside of Minnesota would say, oh, maybe that's a red flag.
They just write the check. Human Services, they got to clean out the whole bunch. They're the ones who enabled this fraud. How can you not look and say, wait a minute, these two are registered at the same address?
On top of all of the childcare centers, that's just only a small piece of the fraud. What other fraud are they committing here in Minnesota?
So another major piece of the fraud is the home healthcare industry. Where we're going now is a building that has 14 Somali-owned home healthcare companies in the same building.
14 of the same healthcare companies in one building.
What? 14 in the same building? How's that possible? Bro, this is insane to me. How is that even possible? It must be like some old storage unit place. That could be pretty much be the only way like they're able to do 14 tell bro, that's crazy. 14 in one building.
14 home healthcare companies with different names in the same building.
How bad has Tim Walz managed the budget here inside of Minnesota?
So the last biennium, we had an $18 billion surplus. This biennium, we have a $6 billion deficit. That's a $24 billion swing in one biennium. How in the world can you burn through $24 billion in 2 years? This is how, right here. This is a huge part of it.
And so would you say a lot of that is fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota?
Absolutely. I would say better than 90% of it is absolute outright fraud.
And a large percentage of this fraud is from these healthcare companies that are charging the state millions of dollars while they actually aren't providing anything. In fact, the FBI just did a raid a few days ago on a building similar to the one we were about to enter. Inside of this building, there were 14 of nearly the exact same businesses offering the exact same services.
Right here, you have a list of all of the healthcare companies. Loads of them right here. We want healthcare. Yes, we'd like to speak about getting healthcare here. Why can't I get healthcare here? Warning, you are under video surveillance. No trespassing, security, armed. This is the strangest place I've ever been to get healthcare. Just a bunch of different places. Healthcare here, healthcare right here. Another healthcare company right here. There are 3 healthcare companies inside of this building right here in this room of 7C. Now we have another Helping Hands, Home Care LLC, another healthcare company. Present Help right here. We're looking for the best rates of healthcare here inside this building because we have so many options. Who can we talk about getting the best healthcare?
I don't know.
No?
Sorry.
All right. We will not get any healthcare here. David, this is one of the stranger places I've ever been. Literally, healthcare every door you go to, yet nobody will give you a rate. How much money do you think has been funneled through this building?
Every year, I would say 50 to 60 million at least.
And finally, we were accepted into one of the daycare centers and they actually took down information to give us a rate. However, when we left, we were then met with the police.
I received a complaint that someone mentioned your description were in this building harassing the individuals who...
Of course.
Oh, we're checking out the rates for healthcare.
Of course, they call the cops. We're doing an investigation into fraud, and these people are literally just basically being the shields for these Somalis to sit here and still commit their acts of fraudulent. Can't even think right now. I'm so fucking tired. These people are committing acts of fraud, and literally the police are just sitting there and being their shields. Bruh. All these people involved, law enforcement too, and I get it. They're just doing their jobs. They're not getting paid. They're not getting a handout or whatever. Bring my ugly mug up here. They're not getting paid. They're not getting a handout. But at the same time, this just goes to show you that everyone involved needs to be paid. I mean, needs to be dealt with. I don't care if you're law enforcement, government official, hell, even lawyer. You all, in some degrees, needs to be prosecuted and held accountable for all of this stuff that's taking place. It's insane to me to know that this is going on, and like none of these people have been charged. There's no open investigation beforehand, before it was exposed that so much fraud was going on in Minnesota. Now we have an independent journalist, a YouTuber, going there and doing the jobs of all mainstream media news outlets who should have been conducted this type of investigation. You'll see later too, because Nick Shirley went on Fox News after this viral video dropped of him going to Minnesota and doing his investigation into the Somalian community and why so much fraud is going on. They brought him on, and he basically said like what all of us are thinking. The reason why young voters want action. They don't want tweets. They don't want public statements. They don't want going out there and being boastful just for clicks, likes, and votes. No, they want action. They want promise. They want prosecution. We want deportations. When are we going to get them? That's up to Trump. But we want what we want. We were promised these when Trump ran in 2024. Well, we were promised these long back when he ran in 2015. So, and we still haven't got what we wanted. We have over 10 million illegal immigrants that came in under Biden. There's still a majority of them are still here. We haven't even deported up to 1 million a year. So this is very disheartening to see. Quite frankly, I'm not impressed so far. We need more out of this administration. I'm tired. But we continue on.
Because there's 14 healthcare companies inside this building. So
Oops.
Here.
Bring back my share screen.
He said there's 14 companies here, and he's trying to assume because they're Somali providers, everyone here is fraudulent.
Okay, so
He's here with some kind of like propaganda.
no, we're just checking.
No, this is a
Of course.
area that we're allowed to enforce trespassing ordinance. Is there any other reason you guys are here?
Well, we were checking rates.
No, he's not.
We were checking rates. We asked for rates.
No, you're not.
Okay. I'm gonna have, if you guys are all good, we're gonna step outside and we can continue this conversation.
All right, let's leave. So, all right, we're getting escorted out right now. The police have arrived. We're here checking out the rates, seeing what was happening inside this building. No one would really speak with us. We did go inside the one daycare center, and she actually did give us rates for childcare. Much respect to that lady. What's the problem, officer?
Well, so again, we've been getting reports from multiple individuals that you guys were harassing individuals who work here. At the end of the day, this is private property, and it's one that people are allowed to ask you to leave, and it's also one the Minneapolis Police Department is allowed to enforce trespassing ordinance at this address.
Yeah.
So
As we got escorted out of this building, the Somalis filmed us as we left.
Of
and headed
course.
to the next building that had 22
Of course.
the same home health care providers operating from inside of the building.
Right here, you have multicultural home care. And right here, it says it's open, but can't even get in. Another Reliance Recovery Center, Mercy and Grace Care, Inc. Right here, you have Den Eritrean Youth Development Association of Minnesota. Another child care center, Welcome to Bright Beginning Center. But what do you guys think about the fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota?
Sorry. No comments. Can I please?
Right here, you have Serenity Quality Care. All of these businesses are literally the same type of business, providing the same service in the same building. Another Convenience Home Healthcare, Aid, Inc., and Child Friendly Space. All these companies get money from the government. Why would you have the same company essentially inside of the same building, door to door? Right here, Queenly Home Healthcare. It just does not make sense. If you were trying to operate a business, you'd want to have less competition. But here, they have all their competition right next door. We're wondering, because we hear there's lots of fraud taking place here in Minnesota, and we're wondering, why is there so many of the same companies inside of this same building?
No, I don't know that.
What do you think about the fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota?
I don't have any idea about that fraud. Okay.
Mhm.
That's it.
What do you think about the news articles and what's being spread on the news about the fraud?
Right now you are doing something wrong.
I'm just asking you
No, you
about
don't
the
have to
fraud.
ask me. Okay. Don't ask me that question again.
Okay.
Okay.
Who can I speak to?
Who?
Who can I speak to?
Bruh.
Okay. As soon as you confront about the fraud, they get angry. When these people have these home healthcare companies,
See, this would make it so much easier on them if they were very nice and very talkative to try to quell this problem. But it's clear as day, there is something going on in Minnesota. These people are committing fraud. They're not talking. They're not being cooperative. Quite frankly, they just want to be left alone so they can commence their criminal activities and continue on to where they're committing very, very large level of federal crimes, especially also marriage fraud, because I've heard a lot of Somalis like to marry their siblings in order to ensure they come to the United States. I'm looking at you, Ian Omar. You know, it's not a good look, bro. It's not a good look right now for the Somali community. You know, I don't agree 100% about Trump's sentiment about calling them trash, garbage, or whatever, but it's clear they need to go home. They got to get deported, bro. There's no arguing this. These people are pirates. They are committing piracy in America, and they're still here. They got to go home. There is no arguing this. There's no debating this. They got to go home. That's just it. They need to get deported. What are we waiting for, ICE? Take away only I think it's like over 700, and I think one Somalis have TPS because most of them are seeking refuge because of a war that happened back in the 90s, I believe, in Somalia. I could be getting my year wrong, so I apologize or so. But I mean, this was way back then, even before I even touched this earth. This happened. These people have been here. Trump recently said he's going to take away the TPS in order to get them deported, which we need to. I don't know why we're still waiting. We should have already been getting on the road with this right now. We still haven't.
you know, everywhere inside this building. What kind of fraud are they committing?
So there's false documentation being submitted to the state of Minnesota for services never provided. They're having forms signed in advance for services that were then never rendered. As far as a year or 2 years in advance, they'll have someone sign these forms at one sitting, and then they just file those with the state of Minnesota, and nobody from the state of Minnesota bothers to check that those services were ever provided.
So they're essentially just using people saying that they had these services provided months or even years ago, then filing the paperwork and then receiving money from the government.
Right, and the Somali community is a very closed community, so everybody's in on it, and they don't want to talk, as you can see.
And for this building, I'm going to give an estimate of around $30 million for how much fraud is taking place. That is a very low estimate. However, still a lot of money in fraud.
And do you think there is fraud taking place here?
Yeah.
Do you have any idea what any of these businesses are doing?
I never ask.
And now, with upwards of $100 million in fraud, we'll be headed to one more daycare. And this one gets a little spicy as we get chased out at the very end. And after this, we'll be heading to the state capitol to confront the incompetent government leaders who have enabled this fraud to happen.
And I knew this video was going to be super dangerous to film because of obviously how hostile it is and as we are exposing legit fraud happening. I did get security for this video, and I was able to do it through the Black Line Guardian. And if you guys want to help fund my security in the future, you can go down to the link down below. They're not paying me to say any of this. They can decide to help me out for this video. You can go to Black Line Guardian, the link's down below, and click Guardian for Nick, and those funds will directly go to my security and future videos as we are exposing lots of things happening, especially with this fraud. Like I said, they're not sponsoring this video. I'm just giving them a shout out because of how they helped me. So go down to the link down below, click Guardian for Nick, and let's keep going. And now we're going to the next location.
Now, this child daycare center, this one's different than all the other ones we've been to. Tell us about this one.
This one is different because, according to the state of Minnesota, this 312 West Lake Street houses not one, not two, but three child care centers and is licensed to hold 102 children. And in fiscal year 2025 was paid $2.66 million by the state of Minnesota.
And this is the building right here. So this building alone made $2.6 million. Let's see if anybody's inside. Now we're inside of the building where there's apparently 4 child care centers. We met this lady and we followed her to the back of the building where the daycare was supposedly at. So right here we have 2 child daycare centers. We have the Minnesota Child Care Center, and then we also have Nuna. Between the two, $2.66 million. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Yes. We would like to know.
Well, it says we're trying to figure out 102 children. Is that for this facility?
What is the name? Why is it?
It's from the state of Minnesota website. It says you have 102 children here in your child care.
Which child care name is a lot of
Minnesota Child Care right here. It's from the state of Minnesota's website. We're just wondering where the children are.
where the children are?
Yeah, where are the children? It says you have 102 children here, and you got $2.66 million this year in funding, and $2.5 million last year. We're just wondering where the kids are.
And who are you?
My name's Nick Shirley.
Nick Shirley.
And where you? Which department?
Oh, we are from ourselves.
Yeah.
Hello, we'd like to ask where the money's going.
Bruh.
Look at that. Shut us down.
They locked the door. They closed the door and
inside
locked
this
it
daycare
behind
center.
them quick.
This daycare center
That's
right here,
crazy.
no children inside of this daycare center, but between those buildings, over $2.6 million. We are just curious, where are the children at? Do you know where the children are at? Where are the children at in these daycare centers? How come these childcare centers have no children? There's $2.6 million inside these businesses.
Yeah, I know. I just noticed throughout the course of this video, they've all been trying to hide their mouths. Like, bruh, it's the males and the females have all been trying to hide their mouths. They're hiding their entire face because they don't want to be looked on camera or whatever, be seen on camera. And I'm like, you're still going to be identified if or when ICE comes in there and starts deporting you fucking people out of the country. I don't know what hiding your mouth is going to do. Like, bruh, so much low IQ in this one video.
That were given by the government, but there's no children to be seen anywhere. People deserve to know where their taxes are going. If these companies, these daycare centers are making upwards of $2.6 million and there's no children to be seen anywhere, something fraudulent is happening. And that is not make you racist, Islamophobic. This is just the truth of what's happening here in Minnesota. If there's a bunch of white people doing the same thing, we'd be talking about the same issue. This is just fraud at unprecedented levels here inside Minnesota. It's actually very concerning. Where are the children at inside of these buildings? They're nowhere to be seen. Millions of dollars are being sent into these daycare centers all across Minnesota, and there's not a child to be seen anywhere. Here's another daycare center inside the same building.
We don't want you to be videotaping anything.
Where is all the money going for if there's no children at these daycare centers?
Sir.
Yes.
Bro standing there with his one hand in his pocket, like, I hope he don't has any weapon on him. It's my first time seeing this, so y'all, I'm reacting to this the first time with you guys.
I told you, please leave.
Yes, we have a question though. Where is the children at these daycare centers if there's millions of dollars?
Ask me the local government.
Oh, we've asked. We have the paper here. So we're wondering where the money and where the children are at. We have the paper right here. Come here.
Who are you, first of all?
My name's Nick Shirley.
You don't have any permission to record me, period.
Can we talk
you
outside?
You don't have permission to record.
She doesn't either have, she doesn't have permission to record me.
You cannot stop people on the street and question them.
We can ask.
You don't have any permission.
Where are the children?
I will sue you. You don't have any permission. We have nothing to do with this.
Okay, then are there children?
Please leave.
Are there children here?
Please leave.
Where are the children? $2.6 million.
Nigga said he don't have the permission to record me, but then he proceeds to try to record him. What the fuck?
For a daycare center.
You ask whoever you think is doing that. You don't know what you're talking about. So leave.
Tell us what's happening here then.
I said leave.
We're wondering what's happening.
Yeah, what is going on?
We're common people walking.
Yes, we're not accusing you. We're asking where the children are at.
Don't ask me anything.
We're not accusing you. We're asking the daycare centers.
I'm not going to answer. You have.
Where are the children at?
Leave.
We just want to know where are the children.
Who you work for?
My name's Nick Shirley.
Who you work for?
I work for myself. Nick Shirley.
Okay, what are you recording?
We're wondering where are the children? $2.66 million for
You're not talking
the
to
Minnesota
right
Child Care Center.
You're not talking to the right person.
Are there children that come here? Answer the question. Are there children? There's no children inside the building.
No,
That's just a simple question. Where are the children at? David, they won't even answer. We asked him, plain and simple, where are the children? Do children come here?
This is why I've had my life. I've been attacked twice. Once with a knife, and the other time I was jumped last Saturday by 3 Somali men simply for asking questions about what was going on. And they're very, very violent people. They do not like this fraud to be exposed.
After giving this man plenty of opportunities to answer the simple question, where are the children, he called the cops on us, and we headed to the state capitol where they're having a meeting about the fraud to confront the state representatives and people in the government who have enabled and let this fraud happen. Inside of this committee, a Republican representative showed charts showing exactly how this fraud has been committed and who is profiting and connecting all the dots. And while the Democrat representatives looked into the abyss, one of them spoke about how none of this is building trust and how this is
Let me see something.
Inside of this committee, a Republican representative showed charts showing exactly how this fraud has been committed and who is profiting and connecting all the dots. And while the Democrat...
What the hell? Bro. I can't tell if that's a woman or a guy or a troom or one of those, you know, those Decepticons. I'm just going to say it's all of the above. It's not A, it's not B, it's not C, it's D. It's all the above. It's a Decepticon. This Decepticon sure as hell is fooling me.
Representatives looked into the abyss. One of them spoke about how none of this is building trust and how this is a nonpartisan issue. So I went and confronted her after that.
He has some very valid questions to ask about what's going on here in Minnesota. And do you think this fraud...
I don't know who you are.
My name is Nick Shirley. Do you think this fraud is Republican or Democrat or just facts that fraud is happening?
I think the fact that
Because
you brought it as a partisan issue.
because that's what I heard you talking about.
I know what I said is that
Because
what we're
we
talking
want
about
to build trust, but fraud is fraud. So why should we be enabling fraud to happen here?
No, I don't think anybody is enabling fraud to happen.
Hold Governor Walz accountable for this.
Okay, sir.
No. This
Sir,
is
sir.
When are you going to hold Governor Walz? No. She is a representative for the state of Minnesota. Yes or no?
Excuse me.
Yes. Are you?
If you're going to talk to me like
Are you
that,
the state? I'm a disability advocate.
I heard you, and I
get
gave that chance
overstimulated.
to testify.
But, ma'am,
Why is he there? Like, the guy's being overzealous right now. He's very hyper-ventilating. I'm like, bro, chill the fuck out, man. You got to ask journalistic questions in a journalistic manner. You don't go out there and just be all hyperactive and just trying to get in someone's face. This is not the fucking streets, bro. Calm the fuck down. The fuck, man.
facts are the fact that fraud is happening here, and it's not a nonpartisan issue. How come you think fraud has been able to happen so much underneath?
I think if you've been listening to our hearings, we've had now 10 hearings on this. And so there's really good data from the people who both work within the administration as well as who both Democrat and Republicans. I think what you heard today is that the Republicans who control this committee are not actually interested in solving fraud. What they're interested in is telling a story.
This fraud has happened underneath Democrat leader Tim Walz.
Like I said earlier, when I mentioned, when I got to this part, because I did see a clip of this. This woman right here goes and just spins it around and just blames Trump for this. Somehow this is Trump's fault that fraud is going on in Somalia for years when it's been on the Democrat rule for as long as I can remember. How's this his fault that the Democrats are just allowing fraud to run rampant in Minnesota? This is a serious case of Trump derangement syndrome right here. This is a serious case of the Trump derangement syndrome. They still blame him even when it's their fault. They're allowing this to go on right now. And this is Trump's fault. What the fuck are we talking about right now, bro? These fucking people are not serious. These people are just not real, bro. They're retarded. Fucking like Tim Walz, he's a fucking retard. This bitch is a fucking retard, bro.
There has been Medicaid fraud across the country under Democrats and Republicans. There's fraud.
It's fucking crazy.
We have is fraud. Public-private providers have made government a mark. And so every person running government, Democrats or Republicans.
And she's big, too. She's chopped as hell. Miss Piggy looking bitch.
Are dealing with the issue of how to keep fraudsters out of our public payment. We're also dealing with veterans. We're dealing with consumers. I hope you're looking at that. If you look at United Health, currently is being charged with defrauding Medicare. You know who runs Medicare? President Trump. Medicaid fraud is a 50-state issue. And so, again, it is not a partisan issue. There are Democrats and Republicans who are sitting in that committee talking about it. But what you did here was the Republican chair say she's not turning information over to the one person in government who can stop payment. And I hope you print that. Thank you for coming today.
Okay. Well, you saw what happened there?
That we live in, and these politicians are just walking off thinking it's okay Tuesday, and they want to go visit the Trump. They want to blame the Trump administration. We have Democrats blaming ICE. I'm tired. Why people are suffering.
This guy looks a little off his rockers, bro.
I'm scared for my little brother. My people are suffering, and these people just walk off. We have a governor, he doesn't care. How many more people are gonna freaking die? How many more people are gonna go homeless? And how many more people are gonna be trafficked in our freaking system?
Bro. W-Doc. That was good. That was good journalism. That was good journalism 101 right there. That was some excellent journalism. Yeah, that was excellent journalism right there from Nick Shirley. If you let me post up, let me get the link right quick, share it in the comment section for you guys so you guys go watch it on your own right quick. Post link. There you go. It's in the comment section for you. Go check out Nick Shirley. Make sure you give him a follow. Let me subscribe to as well. Subscribed. All right. Now we're gonna get some more reactions right now, quick before we get off. So let's go over to our good friends at Twitter. Let me increase the screen right quick. Oh, doing the wrong screen. Hold on. I wonder if you guys can see this right quick. All right. I guess y'all thought, well, I'll just link some of this stuff over there. But anyways, this is from Elon Musk right here. If you can't see, I wonder if I could, yeah, there we go. Makes it easier so you guys can see. So as this is from Elon Musk right here. Let me go ahead and pull it down a little bit. Okay, so this is from Elon Musk right here. Just stop caring whether they call you a racist or not. They do that to scare away inquiries. Doing so used to work, but not anymore. Fraud is fraud. It doesn't matter. So this is Nick Shirley a day after this video dropped. He went on Fox News, the Big Weekend. They brought the Big Weekend show. They brought him on so he can speak about this, about what's going on in Minnesota and how the Trump administration just needs to deliver on their promise.
Tim Walz is saying that you and others that are out there trying to expose this, you're doing it because you're white supremacists. What is your response to him?
Yeah, Tim wants votes. There are entire apartment complexes where white people have been pushed out of these apartment complexes because Somalians have taken over and they're inside of these towns like Minneapolis, where they can go get votes from these people. And if you have 100,000 people that will vote for you because you're going to enable and let this stuff happen, and because you're going to call a white person racist for calling out facts, this is what's going to happen to a state like Minnesota. Minnesotans, they say Minnesota nice, but they are very upset. And I totally understand why they're upset, because they don't have a governor who's actually working for them, that he's actually working against them.
Governor Tim Walz is saying that you and others that are out there trying to expose.
All right. Let's go on to this one right here. This is from Arthur Mac Waters. Let me get this straight. 1, Somali immigrants get billions of taxpayer dollars for free for fraudulent daycares. 2, in exchange, they fund Democratic candidates with the free money. 3, Democratic politicians, Waltz, Omar, etc., ensure fraudulent payments continue. How is this not instant jail? Like this is electoral fraud on top of Medicare fraud. How is this not front page? So you can see right here, down here is a picture. This is from all the mainstream medias right here. Let's click on the photos right quick. There you go. Minnesota fraud. It's insane to me. This is insane. It took a YouTuber going in there to expose how really bad it is in there. This is from Polymarket. Just in, it has been revealed the phone number for Minnesota Sweet Angel child care goes directly to the office of Governor Tim Walz. This was reported just today. at 7:13 a.m. That's insane. Again, a big red flag to show that, hey, Tim Walz knows exactly what's going on in Minnesota. He knows about the fraud. He's very much aware. Boom, Tim Walz and Minnesota's worthless local media are being destroyed as Nick Shirley's fraud video surges past 110 million views. Where are the investigators? Where's the media? One guy did their job better than all of them combined.
Door to door.
Well, technically speaking, since Fox News is reporting, he did a better job than them because they're not even fucking doing a better job at this right now.
Minnesota to these so-called child care centers saying, hello, are there any children here at all? Can we see one child? And the answer over and over again, there's the video right there, Nick Shirley. And he did yeoman's work here, asking very basic questions. And my question in response to this video, you can see it on X, it's a long expose. If there are any children, they are nowhere to be seen. And if this guy can do this kind of work, where are the state investigators? Where is the local media in Minneapolis or in the state of Minnesota? And it's such a bad look. And for the governor to say, oh, well, we're very strongly looking into this, and I'm going to have an outside auditor. We already know that billions have been stolen, and all he can do is downplay, and occasionally race bait as well. It's all he's got.
Voters don't like.
Citizen journalists going door to door in Minnesota to these All
right, so let's move on. Somali woman says that a white man, referring to Nick Shirley, who is trying to expose daycare fraud in Minnesota and the issue of absent children in the facility, is acting like a pedophile. What the fuck? Her mental gymnastics to make a white man the villain would win gold at the Olympics of delusion. Let's see.
Demanding to see children that are not yours at a daycare so you can record them is a level of pedophilia that has yet to be talked about.
Bro, this woman is ugly as crap, bro. She got a face only her mother could love.
Demanding.
Yes, and this is very stupid. She's all right. So this right here. Would you support impeaching the Minnesota judge who threw out a $7 million Somali fraud conviction? I guess, yeah, I would also convict her too as well for just being hideous. Look at this. This is a face that scared children for Halloween. Tim Walz, I fought fraud for years while billions walked out the door. I'm not gonna read all this because it's a long tweet. The viral video showing inactive child care centers in Minnesota that received millions in state funding has Tim Walz's office working overtime on damage control. The governor's spokesperson said that Walz has worked for years to crack down on fraud. It has been begging the state legislature for more authority. I read this earlier too as well on the article, more authority to take aggressive action. They say he's launched investigations into the specific facilities shown in the video, with one already shut down. Walz's office also pointed to specific actions like hiring an outside firm to audit high-risk programs, completely shutting down the Housing Stabilization Services program, appointing a new statewide program integrity director, and supporting criminal prosecutions. So daycare fraud has been a problem for years in Minnesota. 62 child care centers under investigation, 56 cases of child endangerment. Some centers had 0 kids enrolled, but still got millions. Officials flagged it 3 years ago, but Tim Walz did nothing to stop it.
Hey, Lindsay, CCAP is a $34 million state program that receives federal funding. It benefits more than 12,000 low-income families each month across the entire state. Learning of growing concerns about the program from sources at the Capitol, I started looking into some of the daycares receiving the most money. Despite many serious safety violations over multiple years, they continue to receive funding. And now some state lawmakers want an investigation into what they call a lack of oversight of the CCAP program. I started by visiting Quality Learning Center Daycare. So it is that 14B, which sits right in the heart of downtown Minneapolis. Between 2019 and 2023, the Minnesota Department of Human Services found 95 violations at this location. They range from failure to keep hazardous items away from children to no records for 16 children, which include things like immunizations, emergency contacts, and medical needs. So state investigators placed Quality Learning Center on a conditional license in 2022. I went to the daycare's location several times, and only once did I see people there.
Oh, that's your daycare.
But I did not see any children.
So there are 80 kids in there?
No, no. No, no.
Only once did I see people there. DHS declined an interview, but in a statement acknowledged Quality Learning Center was put on a conditional license because of its poor safety record. But it still received nearly $8 million in taxpayers' money since 2019. Its conditional status.
Man, this is crazy right here. 3 years ago, this has been going on right now in Minnesota, and now we're just not learning about this. Sorry about that. I got my phone playing in the background, too. I'm checking the sound, too, so we'll make sure everything comes out good.
Removed in 2024. I also went to yet another facility, the Minnesota Child Care Center in this South Minneapolis building. I found it at the end of this small hallway with a steel door, no windows, and no visible security cameras.
That's the sign for the place.
State records show between 2021 and 2023, the daycare had 36 violations, some of them serious. They failed to request initial background checks on 6 staff in 2023 and failed to request repeat background checks on 8 staff in 2024. Ultimately, the state would accept corrective documentation on these violations.
Wasn't anybody here last time either.
I visited several times, and each time, no apparent sign of any workers. And each time, no apparent sign of any children.
Was anybody there?
Since 2018, Minnesota Child Care Center, however, received $11.5 million in CCAP money. I asked DHS why daycare centers could still receive millions of dollars with questionable safety records over multiple years. In a statement, DHS said under state law, they can only stop payment, quote, when a provider intentionally gives false information or submits false attendance records. A provider is operating after a suspension or revocation of its license, there's a credible allegation of fraud, and or a provider refuses access to attendance records.
What does that say to you?
It says that the oversight is incredibly lacking.
I shared our findings with House Speaker designate Lisa Damon.
Are we keeping kids in Minnesota safe? And what you're showing me here brings that very much into question. You know, Jay, you have pages here that are publicly available with repeated failure to keep hazardous items away from children, failure to maintain adequate staff to child ratios, background checks, failing to keep personnel files. These are repeated violations.
As I was looking into the daycare center violations, I also found a connection between CCAP and the Feeding Our Future scam, which built $250 million from the state.
Breaking news right quick. So apparently Benjamin Netanyahu's at the White House right now, and Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu are holding a bilateral meeting right now. This is breaking news right here. So you know what? We're gonna jump over and cover that right quick. Let me add a new gonna put this one up. I'm gonna fix this right quick. Give me just a minute. We're gonna cover that one actually. We're gonna jump to that. I'm curious to actually see this right quick to see what they're talking about. So 1 second. I'm gonna add a camera. Let's see. And then I'll finish this off in a little bit. Let me open a new tab right quick. Open new tab. We're going to jump over to this right quick. Oops. Make sure this is. I wanted it to begin already yet. It just started 20 minutes ago, so it's about to begin. Let me share this with you guys. Share this with you guys right quick. So we're going to jump into this right quick. It's actually important news right quick, so I want to jump into that. Okay. I'll make sure everything's good on my end. All right. So we're jumping into this now. This wasn't part of the news show for the day, but I guess we're covering this now. All right. Before they get started with this, let me close some of these tabs up right quick. So that way we could have a clear picture. Close up some of these tabs. All right, while that's getting ready, I'll check back in periodically with that. Make sure, oops, bring that back up. We'll see where they're going to begin right quick. So we're going to check back in periodically with that, but let's continue on with this.
In 2023, a man named Abdikadir Kadaya was charged with stealing $1 million in taxpayer money in the Feeding Our Future case. He's waiting to be sentenced after pleading guilty to wire fraud. But we also learned Kadaya also operated Intisar Child Care Center in Minneapolis. The facility received $1.8 million in taxpayer funds between 2017 and 21. But the license was revoked and Kadaya's daycare was shut down. He has not been named or charged with any crimes connected to CCAP, however. Now, I've been asking for weeks why Kadaya's license was revoked. Late tonight, DHS sent over this 86-page document explaining why. Some of the more serious reasons include violations directly related to the health and safety of children and providing false and misleading information to DHS. DHS also told me they have 62 active CCAP investigations for family child care and child care centers. And as far as the 2 daycare centers in our story are concerned, I reached out by phone to the names and numbers listed as the licensed operators, and I've not yet heard back. So some new information that there are now 62 active investigations into that program.
I'm speechless. It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And this is just breaking tonight.
Correct. Yes, we're going to stay with it, obviously, and see what happens next. State lawmakers have told me that they would like this before some committees. As soon as they can get the committees together, they want to bring it to some committees and start investigating and looking into it a little bit deeper.
Again, involving our children.
Yeah, and taxpayer dollars, lots of it.
Lots of it.
Yeah.
And again, Jay's been looking into this for months.
Yeah, a long time.
Stay on it, Black.
All right, so let's continue on right here. This is breaking footage is resurfacing of Somali leader in America, Hamsi Warfa, I believe is as you say his last name, saying that Somali organizations did not even get 100,000. And we got to keep up with the. See when the bilateral press conference is going to start with Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu. I'm trying to watch this at the same time. So it continues on. Did not even get $100,000 from Minnesota before Tim Walz assumed office as governor. We demand real power. The benefits had to reach Somalis. Import third world pirates. Give them everything we have. We could go wrong. What could go wrong? Sorry. Trying to watch both these at the same time. Import third world pirates, give them everything we have. What could go wrong? Mass accountability is required for Minnesota Democrats, or it will get worse. All right, let's watch the video. It's only like 46 seconds.
laakiin waxyaabihii aan u ololeynay oo u taageernay gudoomiyaha waxaa kamid ahaa gobolka Minnesota 30 sano ku dhawaad baan degannahay hal qof oo Afrikaan ah oo gudoomiye gobolku xil sare u magacaabay ma jirin suuqaasana aynu joognay laba mar rabnaa in la magacaabo kaliya waxa rabnaa waxtarka gobolka maadaama aanu wax soo gelitaankiisa aanu qayb ka nahay nacfigiisuna waa inuu gobolka dadka Soomaaliyeed soo gaaro waxaa jirta in jirin hay'adaha Soomaaliyeed ama bulshada Soomaaliyeed wasaaradaha gobolka mid ka mid ah oo xataa $100,000 taariikhda ka soo gashay gudoomiyaha Tim Walz ka hor
si wanaagsan
inaysan jirin laakiin markii ugu horeysay waxaa suurta gashay in si toos ah loo taageero baahida dadka Soomaaliyeed oo gobolka laakiin waxyaabihii aan ku leeyahay oo
insane. This is insane. When I see this shit right here, this is pure insane. All right, so right here, Tom Emmer. It's amazing to me that a 23-year-old journalist, Nick Shirley, a YouTuber who's now got over 80 million views on this thing, found more in a matter of hours than Tim Walz and Keith Ellison, our Attorney General, have found in 7 years.
This misspelled learning center with no children in it and a $4 million price tag.
Well, it's amazing to me that a 23-year-old journalist, a YouTuber, who's now got over 80 million views on this thing, found more in a matter of hours than Tim Walz and Keith Ellison, our Attorney General, have found in 7 years, Mike. I got to tell you, we've known in Minnesota about the daycare fraud for a decade. Keith Ellison is our current Attorney General. His predecessor, Lori Swanson, was actually investigating the daycare fraud and prosecuting back in 2017 and 18. As soon as Ellison became the Attorney General and Walz became the governor, all of that stopped. And now you see the result. Billions of dollars, it has been alleged, that they have fraudulently built out of Minnesota. There was a housing stabilization program that was created in 2020. It's through the Medicaid program, a different one other than daycare. They spent $161 million. It was estimated it was going to be $2 million a year, Mike. From 2020 until they shut it down in October, it was $161 million. This daycare fraud, there's one woman in particular who created a fake daycare and built $14 million on her own. This thing is huge. Tim Walz is absolutely singing a false song when he says that Republicans are doing this. He has not done anything to prosecute or investigate fraud. I'm going to tell you, this Kash Patel put out that they're investigating this. They've got a whole bunch of pending people that could be indicted. And what does Tim Walz do? He puts a post out on his Twitter that says, Happy Catterday. With a picture of a cat. In our local paper, these guys are complicit. They put out the biggest stories of 2025, and guess what, Mike? Not one mention of...
Learning Center is crazy, bro. Not knowing how to spell learning is kind of fucking insane. Learning, quality Learning Center. Bro.
Fraud.
That's
this
crazy.
Thing is huge.
All right, that's that. This is Kash Patel's statement from earlier. I've already read part of it. I'm not going to reread it again. I'm going to save you the embarrassment. So we're waiting on this right now to start up right now, because she start up any moment. We'll close that tab up. Bring my ugly mug up here for 1 minute. Let me add. Let me add these layouts right quick. Let me add this one right quick. Just make sure everything's good. All right. Should be started any moment. All right. Now let me go ahead and bring it back up here for you guys. Yep. They must be preparing everything right now. So it gives me a minute or so. Let me see. Probably going to change the title of this. Let me go ahead and change the title of this video now. So since now this is going on. We have a I didn't think we are going to get this today. Actually, I forgot BB is supposed to be coming to come meet with Trump today. I forgot this was supposed to take place today. If that's the case, I would have did the stream for this specifically. Make sure everything's good. All right, change it. All right, let's go ahead and changing a couple of things around right quick. All right, this should do. All right, that should do. Change the title of the show. So waiting on this to go on right now. Shouldn't be too long before we start. Man, it's taking forever to get this thing started up right now. Go ahead. I'm going to edit the title right quick while we're waiting to stream. All right. All right, just making a couple of changes to the title right quick, so that way. Oh, and they're starting. Let's jump right on in.
But we don't know the countries. Azerbaijan. Right. No, it's good. It's good when you can say it. It takes a couple of days. They're actually good people. Yeah, great. 35 years, nobody even knew it. And Putin actually said to me, I cannot believe you settled that war because I've been trying for 10 years. And I settled it in one day. Trade. They do trade. They say we're going to cut you off on trade, no more trade. To both of them. Have their attention. To both of them. I say we're going to cut you off, no more trade. Then I put 200% tariffs on. The next day they told we like 35 years of fighting, and they sucked. Do I get credit for it? They gave me. No, I did 8 of them. India. How about India and Pakistan?
Gotta take a piss right quick.
How are you doing? Okay. You're gonna all be outside, the beautiful sun. Good. Enjoy your lunch. It's a very good group. We made a lot of progress already. We had about a 5 5-minute meeting, and we've already settled about 3 of the difficulties. So, thank you very much for being here. Thank you.
What? The stream's already over? Bro, I'll step away for a minute.
The next day they called. We'd look 35 years of fighting, and they gave them. No, I did 8 of them. India, how about India and Pakistan? And then I'll tell you the rest of it. How are you doing? Okay. You gonna all be outside the beautiful sun? Good. Enjoy your lunch. It's a very good group. We've made a lot of progress already. We had about a 5-minute meeting, and we've already settled.
Because all they are at the table.
Difficulties.
Jared Kushner, Trump, PHF.
Thank you.
Larry, they were literally on stream for not even that long. They started the broadcast, and then they started the broadcast, and they already ended it. And let's go to see right side broadcast is talking about. That's insane. So apparently the stream wasn't even that long. That was when BB arrived to the White House.
Does anybody recognize this man? Not too many people. But I believe we're
So I'm guessing we're just showing a repeat of when he arrived. Are we gonna get like a follow-up press conference? I wonder if we're getting a follow-up press conference. I mean, this is just a repeat of showing that when he arrived to the White House.
Does anybody recognize this man? Not too many people.
Let's show everything.
They've been very fair. Last 3 days.
Mr. President, how quickly do you hope to move to phase 2 of the peace plan for Gaza? And are you worried that Israel could be slow walking?
There has to be a disarmament, disarm with Hamas. So one of the things we'll talk about is but there has to be a disarming of Hamas. Very quickly, yeah.
Can you say more about the explosion in Venezuela that you mentioned in the video interview? Did the military do that? Can you share with us?
Well, it doesn't matter, but there was a major explosion in the dock area where they load the boats up with drugs. They load the boats up with drugs. So we hit all the boats, and now we hit the area. It's the implementation area. That's where they implement, and that is no longer around.
Is that the only strike that the U.S. government?
I don't want to comment.
President Trump, yesterday there was an explosion overnight, and the Russians say that Ukraine tried to hit the residence of President. Do you have any information?
No, I don't know about it actually, and I don't. I just heard about it actually, but I don't know about it.
Did you speak with
That would be too bad. That would not be good.
What was the outcome of your telephone call with President Putin?
I had a very good talk this morning. I waited till this morning because it was pretty late by the time we finished, like 2:30 in Russia, 2:30 in the morning. We had a very good talk. We spoke at 8 o'clock in the morning hour time, and it was a very productive talk. I mean, we have a few very thorny issues, as you can imagine. He knows about thorny issues probably better than anybody in the world. But it's working out. We have a couple of issues that we're going to get resolved, hopefully, and if we get them resolved, you're going to have peace. You're going to have Ukraine. They're losing 26,000 soldiers a month. Can you believe it? A month, 26,000 young, beautiful soldiers, and plus some people in Kiev, and relatively small, but a lot, still people, and it's a lot of people. But 26,000 soldiers were killed last month. Yeah, please.
President Trump, are you going to allow Turkish forces, or do you expect Turkish forces to be stationed in Gaza?
So I have a great relationship with President Erdogan, and we'll be talking about it. And if it's good, I think that's good. And a lot will be having to do with Bibi. We're going to be talking about that. But Turkey's been great, and he's been, excellent as far as I'm concerned. I don't know about you. To me, he's been very good.
Can we get another question?
Sure.
Yes. Can you tell me a little bit about your relationship with Prime Minister Netanyahu and how important it is for you to see him be pardoned by the Israeli president?
Look, he's a wartime prime minister. He's done a phenomenal job. He's taken Israel through a very dangerous period of trauma. Israel, other people might not exist right now, if you want to know the truth. That's a pretty big statement, but it's true. I feel that. You had the wrong prime minister. Israel right now would not exist.
Wrong. If we didn't supply them with the weaponries and the aid, they would not exist. If we didn't supply them with the support, they would not exist. Wrong. Completely wrong. That's not what we voted for, Trump. Remember, that's not what we voted for.
They could have made a deal the last time before we went through, a big attack on them, and they decided not to make a deal. They wish they made that deal. So I think, again, they should make a deal. They want to make a deal, but sometimes that doesn't happen. Yeah, please.
Mr. Trump, WMAX 24 News Israel, would you support the overthrow of the Iranian regime?
Who?
Iranian regime.
I'm not going to talk about overthrow of a regime.
Yeah, that's not a good sign.
Problems that are in. They have tremendous inflation. Their economy is bust. Their economy is no good. And I know that people aren't so happy, but don't forget, every time they have a riot or somebody forms a group, little or big, they start shooting people. They kill people. And the people tend to, I've watched this for years, there's tremendous discontent. They form 100,000, 200,000 people. All of a sudden, people start getting shot. And that group disbands pretty quickly. So I've watched it for years. They're vicious people, yeah.
Mr. President, will you support an attack
Israeli attack on Iran if Iran will not have a deal. If Iran will continue with their ballistic missiles and also nuclear weapons.
If they will continue with the missiles, yes, the nuclear, fast. Okay, one will be yes, absolutely. The other was we'll do it immediately.
Mr. President, one of us from Channel 12 News. What are your plans regarding Gaza for the next few weeks?
Well, we're going to be dealing on Gaza. That's why this very great prime minister is here right now. We're talking about Gaza. We're talking about a lot of things. We have about 5 major subjects that we're discussing, and Gaza will be one of those subjects.
Mr. President, can you guarantee that the last hostage, unfiltered, will be released before we will continue to the second phase of the Gaza?
Well, let's put it this way. Every hostage just about that's been released was released because of me, Steve Witkoff, Jared Kushner, my whole team, Marco Rubio, Pete Hegseth. They were all released because of us. None were released in the Biden administration. None. They were all released because of us. Then we had a lack of releases with respect to the dead. And all of a sudden they started coming back because I said, nope, you said you were going to. We have one wonderful young man whose parents are right now inside. And he's what beautiful parents, a beautiful brother, sister, and like a beautiful family, and they're waiting for their son. It's the only one left, and we're doing everything we can to get his body back. And the parents just said, hopefully he's alive. And I said, I'd love you to think that way. So we're doing everything we can. But then now think of it. Out of all of these people, and I'm not just talking about the final 20.
Right.
Look at all of the people. What do you think the total number is?
255.
255.
254 came out, one more.
Think of that. And we got them all.
President Trump.
Nobody else got them.
President Trump, does the reconstruction of Gaza, President Trump, does the reconstruction of
Hold on 1
Gaza,
second. Y'all do just let her go.
does the reconstruction of Gaza will begin even before Hamas is disarmed?
I think it's going to begin pretty soon. Yeah?
Before Hamas
He's looking forward to it. So am I. Look, what a mess! What a mess it is. And it's been a mess for centuries. Really, it's been a mess for a long time. It's seems to be born for that. But we're gonna straighten it out. No, we're already starting certain things. We're doing things for sanitary conditions and others. But Gaza's a tough place. You know the expression, it's a tough neighborhood. It's truly a tough. That's truly a tough neighborhood. Yeah, you had a question in the back. Go ahead. Yeah, please go ahead.
I'll ask you about the relationship between you and the Prime Minister.
What about it?
They said that there is no relationship, good relationship between you.
I don't think it can be better. We just won a big war together. You know, if we didn't beat Iran, you wouldn't have had peace in the Middle East because nobody would have been able. The Arab countries who have been fantastic would not have been able to make a deal. If we didn't wipe out their nuclear, we wiped it out. If we didn't wipe out with the beautiful B-2 bombers, if we didn't, and we sent a lot of Tomahawks in there also, by the way, from a submarine.
And what about the cargo that the President of Israel give the Prime Minister?
Pardon? I think you will. How do you not? He's a wartime prime minister who's a hero. How do you not give a pardon? You know, I think it's a very hard thing not to do it. I spoke to the president, and I thought,
Insane how he's pushing the pardon this war criminal. Literally, I generally just like find it so funny.
Well, I don't want to say that. I know exactly who it was, but I don't want to say who it was. But you know, it was along the shore. Well, I spoke to him pretty recently, reasonably, but nothing much comes of it. Yeah.
Mr. President, can you explain the importance?
You have to understand what he's done. They've sent billions of dollars of drugs in, but maybe just as bad, they've sent hundreds of thousands of people in from jails, from prisons, from mental institutions and insane asylums. The drug lords, the drug dealers were all sent into our country. But think of it, what he's done. Tren de Aragua, probably the worst gang. They cut off people's fingers. One man made a phone call to complain about them They cut off their hand. They cut off his hand. Don't ever make a phone call again. We'll cut off your other hand. After that, we'll kill you, they said. That was in Colorado. And now they sent in all of the bad ones. They sent in some bad people. And that to me was just terrible. And they send in drugs. Now, I will say this, 97% of the drugs coming in by sea stopped. We're trying to figure out who the other 3% are. And they have a hard time getting people to pilot those boats. But 97% of the drugs coming in by the ocean, by the sea, by water, are gone. Every boat that we take out, we save 25,000 lives of Americans. Thank you very much, everybody. We'll see you. We're going to have a big meeting, and we'll see you in a couple of hours if you'd like. And if you'd like, you can come up and have lunch like you did yesterday. Would you like that or not? Do you want that?
Oh, yes.
Because some of them think it's terrible. It's a bribe. But, you know, a bribe for $25, I don't know. If you'd like, you can go. And if you don't, you can stand in a driveway and melt. All right? But if you want, will you work on that, Margot? Is Margot doing a good job? Yes, sir. Absolutely. She's a star. She's too nice. Her only problem, she's too nice to you. And you're not nice to us, but that's okay. Margot, take them up and have a beautiful lunch. And we'll see you later.
Are you worried with the strike, the alleged strike on Putin's residence with scuttle?
Yeah, I don't like it. It's not good. I heard about it this morning. You know who told me about it? President Putin told me about it. Early in the morning, he said he was attacked. That's no good. It's no good.
Russian officials.
Don't forget, you know, the Tomahawks. I stopped the Tomahawks. I didn't want that. Because we're talking about, you know, it's a delicate period of time. This is not the right time. It's one thing to be offensive, because they were offensive. It's another thing to attack his house. It's not the right time to do any of that, and can't do it. And I learned about it from President Putin today. I was very angry about it. What?
Don't you have U.S. intelligence services that monitor that region very closely? Is there any evidence?
Well, it came out. It came out. Well, we'll find out. I mean, you're saying maybe the attack didn't take place. It's possible too, I guess. But President Putin told me this morning it did.
One question, Mr. President. Can you expound on the importance of a strong relationship with the state of Israel? And Mr. Prime Minister, you call President Trump the strongest friend for the state of Israel. You've worked with numerous administrations, numerous presidents. Can you expound on that? What makes President Trump such a strong friend for the state of Israel?
I'll say it again and again and again. We've never had a friend like President Trump in the White House. It's not even close. And I think you can judge that not merely by the frequency of our meetings.
This is crazy.
The content and the intensity. I think Israel is very blessed to have President Trump leading the United States, and I'll say it, leading the free world at this time. I think it's not merely Israel's great fortune. I think it's the world's great fortune.
Well, I just want to say that.
Bruh, this is crazy.
It's very important who the Prime Minister and President of Israel is. We have a great relationship. It was an honor to speak before your leaders. That was a great honor for me. I think it has not happened before, or something they told me. But the relationship's been extraordinary, and Bibi's a strong man. He can be very difficult on occasion, but you need a strong man. If you had a weak man, you wouldn't have Israel right now. Israel would have been, you know, Israel with most other leaders would not exist today. They would not exist. And now they're stronger than ever. Yeah, please.
Are you going to ask Netanyahu to sign the agreement with Syria?
Well, I hope he's going to get along with Syria, because the new president of Syria is working very hard to do a good job. He really is. I know he's a tough cookie, and he's, you know, you're not going to get a choir boy to lead Syria. That's the one thing I would say. So I hope they're going to get along, because, you know, I dropped the sanctions on Syria because otherwise they wouldn't have had a chance. We want to see Syria survive. So we're going to be talking about Syria too. Okay? Thank you very much, everybody. Have a good time. Go have a good lunch.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Bruh.
You know, after you hear these things, I think better to quit now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, That's that. I wanted to see that actually because I didn't see it from earlier. Yep, that's that. I don't think there's any more now about this. I don't know if they're gonna do like a follow-up press conference maybe later. So I don't know if they're gonna do a follow-up press conference right now. Maybe later. Let me pull my big mug back up here. Yeah, so oops, my cameras. Yep, good. Okay. So when they do a follow-up press conference, I'll react to it later, maybe. Yeah, is my camera good? I believe so. So whenever they do a follow-up press conference, I'll probably react to it. Let my PC rest for a minute because I know it's probably overheating. I'll be back later, guys. Well, if there's nothing later or whatever, I'm going to get some sleep for a little bit. If I don't come back on later, I'll see you guys on Wednesday. That's where the next stream is going to be. I'll react to Trump's. If something else comes up too, I'll react to that too as well. I think I said earlier in the stream I was going to go live tomorrow. I forgot my streaming schedule. My streaming schedule is Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm so used to my old schedule. I keep forgetting to say that I only stream like 3 days now. So, but yeah. Anyways, I'll go ahead and get out of here now, guys. I'll see you guys on the next one. Let me get my outro ready to go. Make sure you like the video. Leave a comment. Let me know how you guys like about this stream today. And I'll see you on the next one. Shit. Damn thing messed up.